Profile is a show where we showcase some of the talented people who work behind the scenes in the entertainment, business, and local communities while making positive influences on the lives of others.
Welcome to Producer Profile. I'm Stella Winston.
And I'm Jim Hill.
Jim, today we have a special guest. He does a form of music that I'm not familiar with, and it's called Garifuna Punta rock. So we're in for an education today.
I am dying to learn.
Yes. And his name is James Lovell, and let's welcome him to the show. Okay. Welcome to the show, James.
Thanks, Stella.
Okay.
Welcome, Jim.
Yeah.
You know, you started off by telling me about your people.
Yes.
And where you guys are located and how many are in New York.
Exactly.
Could you share that with the audience?
Definitely. As a Garifuna, you know, I try to go back into history to study about my culture, you know, because it's very vital for one to know about their history.
Oh, yeah.
And when it comes to the Garifuna people, they are the aborigines of the Central America and South America. But what happens, the Carib the Indians and the Arawak Indians, they were inhabiting the Central America and the Caribbean. This was pre-Columbian time, before Columbus. And in the early 1300s, the Africans from Mali, they ventured on a journey for trade. You know, they were looking for other foreign countries to trade, and they landed in the Caribbean, South America, and North America. And it was those Africans who landed in Central America that intermingled and intermarry with the Arawaks and the Carib to form the Black Caribs, or the Garifuna of today.
Okay. Wow. Oh, wait a minute. Those statues that I used to see in the history books, you know, in we called them the Native Americans, and they were African
sculptures. Yeah, they were.
Okay.
Is that you guys?
I don't want to say that's us, but it's probably, we're descendants from Africa. So if that's African, then it's probably us.
Oh, wow. At last.
You know, I want to emphasize that the language, it's a mixture of African, Arawak, and Carib.
Right.
And that's the name Garifuna.
And the name Garifuna, that's the modern name that we call ourselves today. But in history, we were called Black Caribs.
Okay. So you're saying, now where are you guys located in New York City right now?
Okay. We're in Brooklyn, but the majority of the Garinagu people are in the Bronx, because the people from Honduras and Guatemala who are Garinagu people, they migrate to the States, and they centered in the Bronx.
Okay, about how many are we talking about?
I've heard that there is about 50,000 Garinagu people here in the in New York.
Now, the Garifuna people have had not an easy time of it in history. You were explaining to me that they have been oppressed.
Exactly.
They have been. So, could you tell us a little?
We were subjected to be exiled from St. Vincent. Actually, what happened when the Africans came from Mali, they came to St. Vincent. That was the homeland of the Garinagu people.
Okay.
But in 1795, Joseph Chatoué, he was our chief, the paramount chief of the Garinagu people. He was, you know, he fought and he organized war. You know, he was a strategist. You know, he lead people and schemes into to fight the British, because what the British wanted to do was to take the Garinagu people off St. Vincent, because they had wanted to cultivate sugar.
Okay.
At that time, they wanted to take the Garinagu people from the land to cultivate sugar, and Joseph Chatoué decided that that cannot be. People, you know, foreigners cannot come, take the land, own the land, and use it to their avail. So they fought, but eventually March 14th. That was the day when he died in battle.
Right.
Is that
so
a
that's
significant
recent.
day in the
1795, exactly.
in the Garifuna?
In the Garifuna country.
Now with the music, well, let's get to
Good,
the
yeah,
music.
yeah.
You call it Punta
Punta.
Ra. Now this is the music that has developed specifically to the Garifuna people.
Yes, it's a Garifuna genre of music. It's a music genre in the Garifuna culture. Okay, Punta, it's the traditional Punta is played with the Garifuna drums. You know, hopefully on the next show I'm gonna bring the Garifuna drum to show. But we use the Garifuna drum, the maracas, and we use the conch shell. Okay, and voices. It's a call and response. The lead singer would call or you know, do the first, and then a choir would answer. It's very much Afrocentric, you know. And then what happened in 1978, 79, Pen Cayetano, you know, Pen Cayetano was an artist in Dangriga, in the hometown that I grew up in, Belize. He was an artist, and normally we would take the turtle shell and we would take the meat out of the turtle shell, and the shell itself, we would decorate it. So Pen used to draw on the back of the turtle shell, and it's used in the house as a decorative. Okay.
Wow.
So one day he was in his art studio, and he probably took, you know, a brush and started hitting on the cracks of the shell, and he realized that each crack has a different sound, and so he decided to incorporate it into the music as a percussion instrument.
Wow.
So he was accredited to call the music Punta Rock. So from Punta, the traditional Punta, he add the bass guitar, he add the guitar to it, and the turtle shell, and he called it Punta Rock.
Wow. Let me ask this now. When you said British, when you said oppression, when you said all those things, I'm thinking that, well, then I know the strategy might have been to give them the Bible so they can take the land. Did the music come out of the religion, the Bible, the this, the that?
True. There's an aspect of religion in it, you know, and we call it dugu.
Duga.
Dugu. D-U-G-U.
I love the sound of that. Duga. Okay.
Sounds
We call it
earthy.
dugu. In Garifuna, the accent is dugu.
Dugu.
Okay, dugu.
Wow.
But that is very spiritual. It's a Garifuna divinity. It came strictly from Africa. It's highly African. Okay, and it's worshiping and paying homage to the deceased.
Okay.
Okay, and we do that by playing drums and food. We would put meat, you know, the meat and the chicken, and we would bake cassava so that they could have and put them in the temple, and then they would stay in the temple for like 3 days, you know, playing drums and paying homage.
Does the Western world, has they accepted this way of
The Garifuna people, the Garifuna music.
religion?
It's a very tough issue, you know, because the fact that it was looked upon as something like that was not supposed to be done in an African sense of way.
Right.
They were the Garinago people and African people in a whole were labeled as pagans, you know, and that was uncalled for because that was a way of life in Africa at that time, and it transcends to the New World or the Americas, because in Haiti, you know, they have the voodoo, and it's very similar to Dugu or Dugu, you know, and they have other like Santeria and Shango, you know, so it's all related, and it's African, so we need to embrace it, you know.
Now you're going to play a song for us, and what song is that? And is this this will be an example of Punta Rock, right now?
This will not be Punta Rock, because Punta Rock it has the keyboards and all the electronic instrument, and maybe the CD that I have, they could play a track from the CD, and that will be a Punta Rock.
Okay, but
if I play like this with the guitar now, we go call it. It's gonna be a berusu.
A berusu.
Berusu.
Okay, and berusu means what?
Berusu is just a song accompanied by a guitar.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it could also be accompanied by the drum.
Okay. And so
Okay.
what's the name of the song?
This song is entitled Magurabaya Bisanigo. You probably want to know, what is Magurabaya Bisanigo?
Yes.
Yes.
It translates, don't neglect your children.
Perfect
It's
song.
very vital. I'm not gonna translate how it,
No,
it
go,
is
just
because
play.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
translate it in the song itself.
Okay.
Okay. Abakate susereti le mi sebenu. Wo wo wo, gaiti tudi nanige. Abakate susereti le mi sebenu. Ye, burugolo muti nanige. Abuhaya malubuidu bidane. Beigi batu sungli dada. Abuhaya malubuidu bidane. Nibarita guha wagu bufa malia. Anu hei bugu shu yara dangriga. Asufrira, oh, asufrira. Anu hei bumare yara indura. Asufrira, hamadisi bisanigo. Bisanigo. Magurabaya bisanigo. Hagia baidara guabu tutemeye. Damesia bawatigi meiduo. There's so many tribulations in this world. Whoa, it aches my heart. There's so many tribulations in this world. Yeah, it aches my heart. Children in the streets in America, suffering. Children in the streets in Africa, suffering unnecessarily. Children in the streets in Brazil, suffering. Children in the streets in America, suffering unnecessarily. Our children, don't neglect our children. They are the future of tomorrow. When we cannot work no more, our children, don't neglect our children. They are the leaders of tomorrow. When we cannot work no more.
Wow. You know,
That was
we need that in the public schools. You know, is there any way someone can get a copy of that song?
Actually,
Is it on?
it's not yet recorded.
It's not on
Oh.
the
Yeah,
CD.
it's a work in progress.
Okay.
But definitely it's coming.
Oh man,
coming.
you teasing us. It's really
That was
good.
really great.
Okay.
So let me ask you this. I
Yes.
mean, I see your music, okay, and what part of dance plays into that music?
Okay, it's the dance sells the music.
Really?
Okay, because it's part of exposing the culture, you know, with the colorful costumes, you know, and the vibrance of the dance, you know. But apparently, in the next show,
Okay.
definitely, Stella, I'm gonna definitely bring some
Bring some
dancers and the
dancers,
drummers.
right.
But it's just an introduction right now. So, but the dance will definitely, you know, it's definitely a part of the music.
Is that your own song that you
Yes,
wrote?
that was an original composition. I composed that song.
I'm still interested in this dance. Is the dance?
Is it African
African?
influence?
Yes, it is.
Is it
It's
very,
very much
sensual?
so.
Very is
Okay,
it
for
calypso?
this song, actually for this song, it's another genre, okay? And we call it paranda. Okay, and a paranda, it's singing about issues in the community. Okay, and like the song explained, it's about children not to neglect, and the parents. You know, it's vital that parents, you know, take care and nurture the kids right so that they could become good citizens. Because, you know, if kids are left alone with unsupervised, you know, they could be menace to society.
Right.
And if we guide them right, they could be leaders of tomorrow. So it's a very, you know, serious song in a sense, but it's a slow beat. You know, so when you dance it, it's the movement is pretty slow. And it goes along.
It seems that most of your songs, from what you've told me, deal with important issues in the community.
Exactly.
Whether it's political, or in the family, or it's
abuse.
Yes. So, what motivates you to write a song? What sparks you?
Stella, that's a very good question. The fact that in my community and in my culture, they have been marginalized, so to speak. There's no role model where the kids or the Garifuna group children should look up to and try to emulate. You know, so they tend to want to drift away from the culture, and it is so difficult. The fact that to teach them how to speak the language and also to be proud of themselves,
right?
You know, and to do that, that's what I try to sing about issues that will make them proud, so to speak.
Okay, we're going to take a musical break. We're going to hear from an artist that was on Producer Profile, Cosme Mabelli, and she did a song called Wabusa, and she's from South Africa.
Okay.
And she sings a lot about issues too, so I hope you appreciate this.
Definitely, most definitely.
All right, let's go to the music. Wabusa. producer profile. That was Cosby Mabelli singing Wabusa, and we're here talking with James Lovell, and
Yes.
he does Garifuna Punta Rarak, and we're going to hear something off of your CD, James
Yes.
Lovell, and what is the name of that?
The name of the song is Kabasan Numari, and it translates, Who's Gonna Be My Wife?
Okay. And why did you name it Who's Gonna Be My Wife?
You know, Stella and Jim, you know, when I made that song, okay, I'm married, you know, I'm happily married, you know, I found my queen and everything, you know, but a lot of people keep asking me, why do you sing that song? And I made that song, I composed that song before I met my wife, you know, so it's, I was just in a state asking a question. As a matter of fact, on that day, I asked 4 main questions. Who's gonna be my wife was the first one.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
What am I gonna eat because I'm hungry?
Right.
That was the second one.
Right.
The third one was, what's gonna be my medicine because my stomach is aching?
Right. Right.
And the fourth was, what am I gonna do in life? What's gonna be my livelihood?
I gotta buy that record because you see, I'm not married, you know, and I need my wife.
So let's hear.
So so the reason is, one, both male and female.
Is this playing it? Is this
Yes,
it right
that's
now?
the song right
Okay.
now. Both male and female, okay? They're gonna reach a stage in life when they're gonna ask that question. Who's gonna be their partner for the rest of, you know, who they're gonna share their life with for the rest of their lives with that significant other, okay? And it's very vital for you to make that decision because it's gonna affect you for the rest of your life.
Yes, it is.
You know, and be it good and be it bad, through thick and thin, you're supposed to weather it through.
Teach.
You know,
Teach.
you're supposed to weather it through. Because everybody, you know, it doesn't matter, you know, love is a very serious issue. And there are times when, you know, it might not work your way, you have to compromise, you know, and you have to give and take.
Absolutely.
The next question is, what am I gonna eat because I'm hungry? In my culture, the Garifuna culture, okay, there is a favorite dish that we call hudutu.
Hadutu.
Hudutu.
Sounds delicious to me.
Hudutu is when you take the plantain, okay, the green plantain and the ripe plantain, and you boil it. And then after you boil it, you put it in a mortar. Okay, and then in a pestle, and then you mash.
Right.
Okay, some like in Africa, it's equivalent to fufu.
Fufu, right.
Yeah, the one that you mash and you pound until it becomes turn into a dough. You know, like when you knead flour.
Right.
It sticks like that, and it becomes like that. And then you take the coconut milk. Okay,
it up.
and you put the coconut milk in a pot.
Right.
And then you take, you know, whatever fish you like, already seasoned, put pepper in it and everything, onions, and then you put it in the pot and then you boil it. And then when it's done, simmer and everything, then that's when you take it out and then you could eat a delicious Garifuna dish, hudut.
Okay. Hadoot is
Yes.
a Garifuna dish. I
And
get it.
The next question is, what's gonna be my medicine because my stomach is aching? As usual, before before European doctors, there were African doctors, okay, who were dealing with bush medicine, you know, with the medicine from the trees, medicine from the earth, you know. And there's any ailment, okay, there's a cure for it in the woods and in the forest. It's just different plants that you put together, and it's still being done in Belize among the Garifuna people, and other ethnic group does the same thing to get medicine from the trees.
So, why did you ask those 4 questions? And then we have to wrap it up.
I asked them because it's part of life,
Okay.
you know, and we need to ponder and question those, you know, and
where
get answers
where can we get your CD?
Well, I have. It's not in the stores, so it's could be bought if you got to call a number 718-703-2902.
Okay.
what I'm trying to do is to put it, to put it in the stores.
Well, thank you for coming to Producer
Okay, I
Profile.
appreciate that,
And
Stella.
I was thoroughly entertained. What about you, Jim?
Oh, you made my day, my century.
Thank you for watching Producer Profile. I'm Stella Winston.
And I'm Jim Hill.
It's been fun. Until next time. That was really a pleasant surprise. That was good.
Yeah.
You're good. You're as good as like Bob Marley and all that stuff. I'm saying that to soup you up, but like when you were playing, it was
When I
like
was playing,
you had that same kind of feel and that same kind of message.
Yeah,
That
it's. I always try to do that. There's none of my songs that I sing and there's no words of advice, or